Let's move on to fucking the Missouri game.
Missouri was up 17-0 and they blew it in double overtime.
You blew it! What movie is that from?
They'll have to tell you. I have no clue.
Don't know. They fucking got these guys. Remember these people, they will be somebody. You blew it! They'll know. Watch.
Yeah. Answer.
It'll be first answer. First, and then somebody say, that movie, Kevin. Shut the fuck up and talk college football. Okay, go ahead.
Missouri blew it. I don't know. I mean, South Carolina, it's another case of the SEC beating up on the SEC. I have a feeling this is going to be the trend going forward, especially when you're only going to be picking 4 teams. Yeah. And I have a solution to that, and you don't need a fucking 13-person committee.
Which George and I'll be doing a video about sometime next week.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Why are they making this so fucking complicated when it doesn't have to be complicated at all? Mm-hmm. First off, bump it out to 8 teams. You bump it out to 8 teams, it's even that much easier. Mm-hmm. But don't worry. Condoleezza Rice used to play college sports, so she's definitely the right person to do this.
You know what's funny about that? I thought when they picked that committee, and we'll have to switch it off again, that everybody was going to be on Condoleezza Rice. Now, Condoleezza Rice, following her, she has been, before she was even had a position, a political position, she always said, in a second, that she'd rather do stuff for college football representing. She's been a huge, huge advocate of all this stuff. I don't think a lot of people know her background with this shit.
Don't.
Yeah.
And to be honest, until I sat down and watched the game with her, I'd have to, cause if someone on this committee, I don't give a shit. Condoleezza Rice, Bob Jones, Tucky Tolbert, I don't know who else is on the fucking committee. I have to do my research.
Tolbert, that's a bad motherfucker.
But here's my issue. Yes, I want somebody who's going to understand that if a team wins 17-10, that the score is not indicative of what really happened. If the other team who scored 10 points got it all off turnovers. That means their offense was held to nothing. The only reason they scored is because the team who had 17 messed up.
Right.
Now, I also want that same person to understand if they watch a score that's 42-3, that could also not be indicative of what really happened if the team who scored 3 had 6 turnovers. Like, you have to be able to watch a game and understand that.
At the same time, you got to understand that there's some people are going to look at it like that, and there's going to be some people that are going to look at it like, well, 17-3 all turnovers. That's because their defense is incredible. There's always going to be
That's what I hope. I hope someone can look at it. I hope somebody put it this way. I hope when it comes to fucking Tucky Tolbert's turn to go, and he just does this and goes, oh look, Miami beat Wake 24-21. Must have been a close game. Oh look, Clemson beat Maryland 40-27. But
there goes Tucky.
Right. But did Tucky know at the halftime Clemson was only up 3 and they just looked horrible in the first half?
Right.
Like, I don't want that guy who's just going to read a box score. I hope these guys are held to some kind of standard. And I think that's what some of these analysts are looking at, like Danny Cannell. Danny Cannell's like, I don't want somebody who's just going to look at the box score.
Right.
Like, this is something like Danny
Cannell's a good analyst.
Motherfucker's sharp.
He's a really good analyst.
So that's what I'm worried about with the committee. But like Kevin said, we'll go into this in the future because this committee will be next year. So maybe it'll be this time next year when we talk about this. But anyway.
But,
Missouri blew it.
They blew it. And, you know, George said it. They blew it. It's not much more to talk about. It's sad because if they played like they played in the first half, that would have been an ugly game. Yeah. It should have been 48 it should have been a blowout. But with that being said, I still think they'd be in a fucked up position because I don't think they'd be able to beat, Alabama on the other side.